Bangladesh, country of South Asia, located in the delta of the Padma and Jamuna rivers in the northeastern part of the Indian subcontinent. Bangladesh is the second largest producer in the garment industry after China and is home to more than 8,000 garment factories. The clothing produced makes up 83% of the country's total exports. With more than 4 million Bangladeshi citizens working in these factories, the stability of the nation depends on the industry, which is controlled by the Global West. Under Mughal rule, Bengal Suba was a midpoint of the worldwide muslin and silk trades during the 16th to 18th centuries. During the Mughal era, the most important center of cotton production was Bengal, particularly around its capital city of Dhaka, leading to muslin being called Dhaka in distant markets such as Central Asia. Bengal also exported cotton and silk textiles to markets such as Europe, Indonesia and Japan. The garment industry in Bangladesh started its journey in the 1980s and has reached its present position. The late Nurul Quader Khan was a pioneer of the garment industry in Bangladesh. He had a vision of how to transform the country. In 1978, he sent 130 trainees to South Korea where they learned how to make ready-made garments. With those trainees, he set up the first factory, Desh Garments, to produce garments for export. The industry grew rapidly and became an economic powerhouse. In 2004, garment sector remained the largest employer of women in Bangladesh. The garment sector has provided employment opportunities to women from the rural areas that previously did not have any opportunity to be part of the formal workforce. This has given women the chance to be financially independent and have a voice in the family because now they contribute financially. However, women workers face problems. Most women come from low-income families. Low wage of women workers and their compliance have enabled the industry to compete with the world market. Women are paid far less than men mainly due to their lack of education. Bangladeshi garment workers make an estimated $25 to $75 a month. This is an impossible wage to live on, especially in large Bangladeshi cities such as Dhaka, where most of the garment factories are located. Bangladeshi workers are cheap labor. They are scared but they need money. They need to survive. With an unlivable wage comes an unlivable life. Garment workers have protested against their low wages. The first protests broke out in 2006 and since then, there have been periodic protests by the workers. This has forced the government to increase minimum wages of workers. Many textile factories in Bangladesh often compromise worker health and safety because of the tough pressure from the ordering companies to make tight deadlines. Management will often push workers in order to ensure that an order is fulfilled. This poses a problem as workers have almost no avenues with which to file a complaint. Almost none of the factories have any sort of human resources department and local officials often turn a blind eye to violations. Moreover, most of these workers are poor women. Without any structure like a formalized union, many lack the ability to speak of injustices either from lack of knowledge or fear of losing economic security. In the last 2 decades something has changed in the fashion industry. Clothes have become cheaper. Trend cycles have sped up and shopping has become a monthly if not weekly event for many of us. Fast fashion is the term used to describe clothing designs that move quickly from the catwalk to stores to take advantage of trends.
The newest H&M store on 5th Avenue in Manhattan is the company's largest ever and just one of many new stores it's planning around the country.
It's all part of a high street revolution, fast fashion.
Instead of 2 seasons a year, we practically have 52 seasons a year. So we have something new coming in every week. And fast fashion has created this so that it can essentially shift more product.
The collections are often based on styles presented at Fashion Week runway shows or worn by celebrities. Fast fashion allows mainstream consumers to purchase the hot new look or the next big thing at an affordable price. Fast fashion is made possible by innovations in supply chain management among fashion retailers. Its goal is to quickly produce cost-efficient articles of clothing in response to fast-shifting consumer demands. The assumption is that consumers want high fashion at a low cost. While the garments are often carelessly made, they're not intended to be worn for years, or even multiple times. Before the 1800s, fashion was a laborious, time-consuming process which required sourcing materials like wool, cotton or leather, treating and preparing the materials by hand, then weaving or fashioning them into functional garments also by hand. However, the Industrial Revolution forever changed the world of fashion by introducing new technology like the sewing machine and textile machines, which led to such innovations as ready-made clothes and mass production factories. As a result, clothes became cheaper, easier and quicker to make. During World War II, the trend of more functional styles and fabric restrictions led to the standardized production of clothes. Once the middle-class consumers grew accustomed to it, they became increasingly receptive to the idea of mass-produced clothing. Fast fashion is controlled by demand. The industry needs to pump out clothing quickly so stores have the clothes in stock before the trend fades. American and European demand for Bangladesh to produce is constantly increasing, which creates lower wages, more precarious working conditions and detrimental environmental consequences. On the 24th of April 2013, the collapse of the Rana Plaza building in Dhaka, Bangladesh, which housed 5 garment factories, killed at least 1,132 people and over 2,500 were injured.
Media in Bangladesh say an 8-story building has collapsed near the capital of Dhaka, killing more than 70 people.
Only 5 months earlier, at least 112 workers had lost their lives in another tragic accident. Trapped inside the burning Tazreen Fashions factory on the outskirts of Dhaka, this devastating incident is the deadliest garment factory accident to date. All for the sake of profit and fashion. Local search and rescue team got to work, slowly recovering workers from the rubble. The UN offered support, which was declined by the Bangladesh government. There is often a disparity of genders in garment factories, resulting in over half the victims being female. However, there were nursery facilities in the building, and a number of children also died.
I suddenly felt, am I in a war zone? I was hearing the scream from the rubble, someone saying, chop off my leg and pull me out. I stopped shooting. I was trying to help. Around 7:30, 2 volunteer workers called me and showed me 2 dead bodies under the rubble. I saw the bodies kind of huddle each other, holding each other to survive. I started shooting again. I felt like these images should be the voice of these people who died.
Since the Rana Plaza disaster, no fewer than 109 accidents have occurred. Among these, at least 35 were textile factory incidents in which 491 workers were injured and 27 lost their lives. In the absence of a well-functioning labor inspection system and of appropriate enforcement mechanisms, decent work and life in dignity are still far from reality for the vast majority of workers in the garment industry and their families. These disasters, among the worst industrial accidents on record, awoke the world to the poor labor conditions faced by workers in Bangladesh. For some of the lowest wages of the world, millions of people, most of them girls and women, are exposed every day to an unsafe work environment with a high incidence of work-related accidents and deaths, as well as occupational diseases. Most of the factories do not meet standards required by building and construction legislation. As a result, deaths from fire incidents and building collapses are frequent. The global pandemic has also highlighted the extreme difficulties that garment workers face. with billions of dollars worth of cancelled orders from brands leaving millions out of work or on reduced wages. A shocking study by the Worker Rights Consortium found that 80% of workers have been going hungry, with those laid off reporting that they've been unable to find work for the past year.
আমি চাই আমার মতন যেন আমার মেয়েটা গার্মেন্টস জীবনে না জড়ায় এবং আমার মতন যেন কষ্ট আমার মেয়েটা না করতে হয়। আমারও কষ্ট লাগে, কিন্তু আমি মনে করি যদিও কষ্ট লাগে আমার এই কষ্টটা সার্থক হবে ওই দিনই যেদিন আমার মেয়েটা আমি লেখাপড়া করে মানুষ করতে পারবো, মানুষের মতো মানুষ করতে পারবো। গ্রামের মানুষে বলবো যে না, সীমা যদি ঢাকা থেকে গার্মেন্টসের চাকরিও করছে তাও আর মেয়েটাও টাকা পয়সা খরচ করে লেখাপড়া করাইছে এবং মানুষের মতো মানুষ করে তুলছে, এবং যে কোনো একটা ভালো সরকারি চাকরি যদি নিতে পারে কি ভালো একটা ছেলের সাথে যদি বড় হলে আমি বিয়ে শাদী দিতে পারি, তখন মানুষ আমারে ভালো বলবে এবং নিজের কাছেও আমার গর্ব মনে হবে যে আমি কষ্ট করলাম, আমার মেয়েটার কষ্ট করতে দিই না, আমার মেয়েটাকে আমি মানুষের মতো মানুষ করে তুলছি।